The National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa says that it is dismayed at the announcement by the South African Civil Aviation Authority, SACAA, of the suspension of the air operator certificate for Comair Limited with its subsidiary Kulula. This has resulted in Comair, Kulula.com and British Airways flights being grounded. Today, the Aviation Authority, SACAA, suspended the airline's operational license indefinitely following an investigation into the recent spate of safety incidents at the operator. The union says it is deeply concerned about workers and the safety of the public, but not surprised, as it has been warning the airline from within of the dangers of their cost-cutting measures, and that this would eventually have the impact of compromising safety standards by not giving their aircraft enough ground time for proper maintenance. Civil Aviation Authority SACAA has extended the precautionary suspension of Comair operations indefinitely. The 24-hour suspension was meant to end today, but SACAA says Comair did not adequately address all the necessary safety issues.
The National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa is extremely concerned and dismayed by the announcement made by the South African Civil Aviation Authority that it has suspended the operating license for Comair. This decision for the suspension of the Comair operating license means that Comair and its subsidiaries Kulula.com and locally operated British Airways are now grounded. The reasons that have been cited by the Civil Aviation Authority are its concerns about the safety record of the airline, given that recently there have been some very disturbing in-air incidents which have warranted the involvement of the Aviation Authority. Upon its investigation, it found that the Comair had actually violated certain prescripts in terms of in terms of safety. And as a result of the fact that it has violated certain policies with regards to the safety or guaranteeing safety of the airline, it has now been placed under suspension, and the suspension will be indefinite if the Comair management is unable to convince the Aviation Authority by today of specific steps and specific measures that it is taking to improve safety of the airline. Now, as Numsa, we're deeply concerned. We're concerned about the safety of passengers and our members and workers in general. And as a union, we've actually raised the fact that the very drastic cost-cutting measures which Comair has implemented have and would likely have a very negative impact on safety measures. We've said this particularly because of the fact that they are now spending even less time with the plane on the ground for maintenance purposes. So as a union, it has become very clear to us that the turnaround strategy which has been implemented by the CEO is not working. It's a turnaround strategy that's based on extreme cost cutting. It has resulted in an exhausted and an overworked staff. Massive job cuts have taken place. And we as a union are now demanding the removal of this CEO, who we believe does not have a clear vision to turn this airline around. And his lack of vision has now resulted in this crisis where this airline has now been grounded.
Well, the anti-racism network has called out anti-foreigner sentiments in the country. This week, the